Chris Broussard, is there urgency for the Sixers to win the title this season?
There absolutely is, Jenna. I'm not saying their window is only these next few months. I mean, they'll be in the hunt next year, maybe the year after that. But they should be thinking right now, this is our best chance to win a title for several reasons. One of them is James Harden. James Harden will be 33 at the start of next season. He'll be entering his 14th year. Now, Harden has been an Iron Man for basically a decade when he was in Houston. And now, all of a sudden, the last 2 years, he's more banged up and injured than ever. We know he loves the nightlife. So what type of toll has that or will that take on his body going forward? Let's keep it real. And this season, while he's played at an all-star level, he has not, Twan, played at a superstar level. So James Harden probably isn't getting any better. So you better get the most out of him right now and try to win it this year, because who knows if he'll be even this good next year. Joel Embiid, the second reason. Embiid, this is probably the healthiest he's looked, Twan, and yet he's already missed 12 games. He still missed 12 games already. And so he always, as great as he is, he always appears or feels like he's just about to fall over into a heap. You know, like he's just one moment away from crashing down and being injured. And they understand that. That's why they wanted Harden now and not in the summer. So who knows how long Joel Embiid's body is going to last. And then I think, Twan, Brooklyn, while they're going to be pretty good this year, I think next year they'll be better with Ben Simmons once he's really acclimated and back to being himself. So I just think the landscape in the league as well is better suited for Philadelphia to win the championship this year, Twan, than any year going forward.
I do agree with you as far as the sense of urgency is now, but I think that now is 2 years. I think when you think about it's 24 games left, it seems like Harden is not healthy. They've hired a specialist to work with his hamstring and try to get him healthy. I think it's going to take some time because Harden and Embiid is not the perfect fit style-wise to play with each other. So we have to keep that in consideration. I know you think you could put any 2 or 3 stars together and think it's going to work. But Harden's a ball-dominant guy. Embiid, the last 2 years, is on a tear. He could have easily been the MVP last year. This year, he'll probably get named MVP. And he has the ball in his hands a lot. And he doesn't need Harden to get his offense. He doesn't need Harden to get his shot at anything. Embiid can do everything on the basketball court. So they're going to need some time. They have the pieces in play right now with Tobias Harris only being 29, who's playing great basketball. Maxi's having a career year. So they have the urgency is now. But if they do come up short, they cannot bail on this season. This is probably going to be a 2-year process to really – but they're in the conversation.
Not a process.
This trade put them in the conversation. So I think that's what we got to remember. They're finally in that championship conversation because the East is tough. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, the Bulls now. You got Cleveland. You know, the Eastern Conference is on a climb. And the Celtics can start to play great.
Yes.
So
don't.
The Eastern Conference is tough.
Don't
let
the
him
Sixers.
coach you into that.
They're there.
Don't let him coach you
It's not
into
just because
saying the
Antoine's
Celtics.
a great
You
Celtic.
just won.
Well, Chris, you know I'm a
Celtics are
Celtic. I'm a Celtic.
He is a
at
great
heart,
Celtic.
Whole Celtics, just Antoine, torn loyalties. Antoine, we've seen, I think we're living in the golden age of going for it. That you add a superstar player and it ends up working. Bucks added Drew, ended up working. The Dodgers added Mookie Betts, won the championship. We just saw the Rams added Stafford and OBJ and Von Miller. It ended up working. But in basketball, we've seen like AD and LeBron took some time to gel. We saw, even though Kyrie and KD took some, like they were 13-3 when they all played together, and Harden, you were big on, hey, it takes time to actually make it work. Do you think that this window of making it work is too short to just have Harden start playing after the break and go to the championship? You think they need a full year and an offseason to get their chemistry right?
I just don't think Harden is as healthy as they're letting on. The fact that he set out the last 3 games before he got traded, he's not ready to play right now. I just think it's going to take some time. You only got 24 games, and the East is tough. And you're jockeying for playoff position. You're talking about 3 teams tied for the third spot. So these games are going to be very meaningful. You're going to get really, engaged in this. You don't really have time to take a 5-6 game losing streak. So they got to be prepared for all those things. And I think being in Philly and when the expectations become, it's championship or bust, no, this can possibly get done in maybe 2 years or maybe 3. You have to think that way, and you have to recommit yourself. They may have to add a piece. We don't know if this lineup. They played great against Milwaukee last night. I think Milwaukee's the front runner. But Milwaukee's yet to put their victory on the floor for the whole season. So they're inconsistent, and it showed last night. So they're in the conversation. The conversation is strong. They in the mix with about 4 or 5 other teams that can come out the East.
Well, see, Twine, here's why I think it's now. I won't say now or never, but I think this is their best shot. Now, you're assuming Harden is hurt, and I think there is something going on with the hamstring. But I also think some of that sitting out was just sulking and pouting and trying to force his way out of Brooklyn. But let's look at the East. I think Chicago, I don't think they're ready to win the East. They've had a great season. I think they're on the upswing. But I think next year is when they really are going to be a better team. Cleveland, just too young. I mean, I think we all would agree, too young to win the East. Brooklyn, I feel like their next season is when it's all going to come together for them, if it does, with Ben Simmons and Durant and Kyrie. We assume he'll be able to play home games next season. So I think they'll be better. Milwaukee, I'm with you. I think they are now the front runner in the East, but they don't look as hungry as they did a year ago. That can happen when you get your championship. I think next year they may be even hungrier if they don't win it again this year. And then you got Miami, which is tough, but they're not like a world beater. So I think the East will be even tougher, Twine, next year to win than it is this year. And that's one reason I think Philly needs to strike while the iron is hot.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.